That's the music of Deniece Williams. This is Al G, rapping Rhythm in New York. And seated opposite me is a very delightful and charming young lady. And fellas, take my word for it. She's very pretty too.
Oh,
Hi,
thank
Deniece.
you. Hi, how are you?
Fine. Welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be here.
Hey, listen, you're new in the business as far as new goes, but I understand you've been singing for a little while. But I was just reading some of your credits, and I'm amazed. You've done quite a few things. As a matter of fact, you just got finished, I understand, doing some things on Stevie Wonder's new album.
Oh, yeah. Took us 2 years, but we've been working on it.
I want to talk about your album some, but I would like to ask you a couple of questions about Stevie's new album and as to why it took so long for the album for him to finish it up.
I haven't figured it out myself. I've been working along with him on the album. He started the album even before I left Wonder Love, and that's been a year and a half. And it just got so bad that I heard things back that I recorded way a long time ago, and I said, "Who is that?" And they said, "That's you." And I said I had forgotten that we'd done these songs, but I haven't quite figured out why it took him as long to do this album. I just think maybe he just wants to slow his pace down a little bit and kind of relax and just lay back and take his time.
Is he sort of doing it one tune at a time, or is it just a matter of getting his head together for the whole thing all at once? How did he do that?
No, Steve does a lot of writing in the studio. Like, he might have a set pattern of what he heard, and he get in the studio and write a tune, and he say, "Oh, wait a minute, I want to do this one instead." So I think, part of it was that he had so many tunes that he could have done, and I got like that. I want to do everything at one time, and it's impossible. So you have to, say, I'm just going to do this certain amount of tunes, and I'm going to do these selections and stick to it and think, well, I'll do it next time again. And with it being a double album, and as many songs as he wanted to put on it, it just got kind of hard to decide what would go and what would be saved for later.
Okay, so much for Stevie. Let's talk about Deniece Williams a little bit. Can you tell everybody where you're from?
From Gary, Indiana, Steel City, Toddling Town.
Yeah. Like, we're both from Steel Cities. Okay. I'm from Pittsburgh, and you're from Gary.
That's right.
And between the two of us, I guess we make up most of the steel in the world, huh?
That's right.
How long have you been in the business?
Professionally for 5.5 years now.
And now you got your first album, and it looks like it's going to be a smash. Incidentally, the title of the album is "This Is Deniece," and it's quite a cover you got on it too. Listen, I guess the best way to describe you and your career is to say that you have been getting your breaks, because the fact that you have worked with Stevie Wonder, I mean, it's got to be a tremendous amount of experience for you. Because Stevie is one of the geniuses of today,
yes,
and I'm sure that he's going to be one of the geniuses of tomorrow, too, for a long time to come. And you've also had an opportunity to travel with Stevie.
Yes, I did.
And I think you performed also on shows with Rolling Stones, etc., and so on.
Yeah,
now,
it's been exciting. It's been really exciting.
I'd have to call that the breaks, getting the breaks.
I think I was really lucky. I know that a lot of people weren't as lucky as I was. Maybe it's been the right place at the right time, or mostly I attribute to God was just watching over me, and this is His plan for me, and all I had to do was just step right in and be ready to do it. And I've worked hard at preparing myself.
Well, how do you feel about your album? Are you satisfied with it?
I really feel great about the album. Of course, I'm my worst critic, and I listen to the album and I hear a lot of things that I wanted to do that I didn't do, but it's a great album, and I get a second chance on the other album to bust it out again, and I think there'll be a lot of growth happening. Each time it'll get a little bit better, but I'm really proud of this album. Maurice and I both are proud of it. We wanted to put out a good project, and we did. It's excellent.
Well, why don't we tell everybody who Maurice is?
Maurice White of Earth, Wind & Fire produced the album, and Earth, Wind & Fire played on the album as musicians.
We're speaking with Deniece Williams, and Deniece, we're going to take a break right now for this word from the Army Reserve, okay?
All right.
That's Deniece Williams, and that's taken from her album, This Is Deniece, her very first album, and I'm sure it's not going to be her last. How is a Deniece Williams discovered? How did some of these major recording stars and recording personalities find out about you?
What happened to me is I started working in a record shop, when I was about 17. And I'd put the records on, and quite naturally, I'd just sing along with the records. And the owner of the shop heard me and brought in some scouts from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Said, please come listen to this girl sing. And they came in, and they said, well, we want to do something with you if you're willing. And I had this obscure notion that I was going to be on a quick get-rich-quick plan. I wanted some money to go away to school. You know, I was on the verge of graduating, and I wanted some money so that I could go into nursing. Is where my head was at the time. So I made the recording. Nothing became of it. I didn't hear anything about it. I went away to school for 2 years. I came back home almost a year, and that's when I heard from Stevie Wonder. They had heard the 45. Someone had made it known to him, which I thank God for that. And he said, I'm forming a group called Wonder Love, and I'd like to have you if you can do that. And I just jumped on in it, and he at that time was on a tour with the Rolling Stones. So I said, sure. And I think the first date I did, strangely enough, and not strange, but was at the Bottom Line with him.
Here in New York.
And I was so scared. I was so scared, but it was beautiful. I mean, I couldn't get over the fact that I was singing with Stevie Wonder. You know, I didn't perceive it. And
Deniece, listen, we're going to take a break right now for this word from United States Army Reserve, but we'll be right back with some more of your music.
all right.
Deniece Williams, Al G, rap and rhythm in New York, and the pretty young lady sitting opposite me is quite a talent, I'm sure, as you know by now, and I can see a whole lot in the future for you, Deniece.
Oh, good.
And you mentioned the fact that you're used to singing in front of church groups, and all of a sudden, boom, you're in front of 18,000 people.
Yeah, that's right.
And you push the panic button. Does the audience affect your performance at all?
Yes, they do. For me, and I've been singing quite a long time now, usually when I first go out there, I'm a little shaky. I'm anticipating what's happening. But once I get out there, and one thing you said that I like, it's a one-to-one basis. You have to be on a one-to-one basis with people because they know whether you're real or not. They can read you. And once I get into my thing and I'm giving it to them, it's like a love thing going between us. I'm giving it to them. I'm giving them 100, and they can feel it, and they're giving it back to me, and we're like, it's a feedback. We're feeding off each other, and the higher they get, the higher I get, the higher I get, the higher they get. And it's really like a spiritual thing happening. It's really hard to explain, but I've seen it happen, like, you know, in the pulpit where the minister, the more he can get the amen, you know, the happier he gets. And that's the sort of thing that I feed off of. And the people give it back to me. I think that I've been fortunate in that. I believe that I have something to tell the people, something that they want to hear, something they need to hear. I always wanted to be a nurse, and I still am a nurse. I think I can heal. I think I can dry a tear, and I can hold a hand and make it all right. I can tell somebody just what they need for that moment. I mean, may not know that I'm doing it, but I've known people have come to say, I listened to you, and you know that was the truth. and so I'm still here. I'm still nursing, and I love it.
Deniece, we're going to take a break right now for this word from the Army Reserve, but we'll be right back with some more of your music.